you're starting to realize that one day it will come, like that you have to be in the military. I actually went through the process of
You did that? You
monk.
become a monk before?
Yes. Being a trans overseas in the West, maybe in the US, it could be life-threatening that when you go out, you might get hit by some transphobe. I can make my rib cage the smallest to the point that I don't have any air in my lungs anymore. And then they measured my chest and it was too small. And then they said disqualified.
Welcome, Niki, to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm very pleasured to be here.
Is it your first time?
Yes, it is my first time for podcast. But I've been interviewed with some like other YouTubers like on the street before, but it was a small channel. But this time it's like a proper setup with a podcast like studio and everything. I feel really nervous right now, but I'm also very happy to be here because this place, after I saw the first video clip with Chini, and it's kind of like impressed me because it is a really good channel for a good representation for our community. You know, in trans community, sometimes there's a lot of controversial side of our society that being portrayed online. But this time we do have like another side of the society so that people can get to know us better.
Yeah, it's more of the modernized version of the media.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the past, if we would think of like we would think of beauty pageants, you know, to speak out about, use our voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think nowadays kind of change because we consume more of the content on the like Instagrams, on the reels, and that's why I'm creating this platform so we can how can I say, express some love and you know, some knowledge for people to understand our community much more.
Yeah, that's good because we cannot have all the foreigners doing all the Ladyboy's content. I think most of the time that I've seen a lot of like foreigners doing Ladyboy's content, they always tend to film, you know, like people who are very provocative and very, I don't know, it's just create a little negativities to our community. But I mean, it's the truth. We cannot really deny the fact that we also have a lot of side in our society. But I mean, we cannot really put on the spotlight on that side only, I think.
Yeah, because there are so many perspectives, you know, to share. And as ourselves, we share our perspectives through Thai person who communicates in English. So, you know, foreigners can understand what we are trying to say on this show.
Yeah, that's really good.
And also we try to speak out of for those who doesn't speak English as well. So like those people who live in the countryside or live like, you know, Thai life.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
We try to represent all of the all aspects of trans community in Thailand.
That's good. That's really nice to have this podcast. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure since you're a very interesting person and you have a good personality, people would like to know who you are. Can you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience?
Sure. My name is Niki and I am 35 years old. I'm Gen Y, millennials. So I am working in Bangkok right now. I have been living in Bangkok for around 6 years, and it's been fun. It's been a fun journey. I work in a Japanese corporate right now as a marketing team, and I grew up pretty much being discouraged to become Ladyboy.
So where exactly did you grow up?
My family didn't really like, especially my mother, doesn't really like me to become very feminine or very, when you were young, I think a lot of trans or ladyboy, when they were young, they were already show signs of like being very feminine. So I got really like told off by my mother since I was very young that like, no, you cannot be like that. I don't want you to act like that. So it's kind of like imprinted in my brain that I cannot be like that. I cannot upset my mother because in Asian culture our parents are very important and we cannot really argue with them. So it kept in my mind and for a long time. I never thought about transitioning at all. So I lived my life throughout school years and university, everything as a feminine person, a feminine guy, basically. Until when I was 24, I started to transition.
So it's like later on in life, but you have always been feeling that you have the
different
women,
like inside myself. Well, I mean, I couldn't really put the word into it like that. I am a woman. I am born a woman. Like I got trapped in this body. I don't feel like that, but I feel
Sounds cliche.
I feel like I was different, and I was. When you were young, you got mocked all the time. Like a lot of kids when you're in Prathom, like primary school, all the boys, they are so young, they lack of the maturity. They just make fun of you.
I mean, kids are mean
all
anyway.
the time. Yeah, they're so mean. I remember I cried a lot when I was young, like almost every day. That was at school. It was so because and when you act defenseless, you get make fun of even more, right? That's why a lot of ladyboys are so like fierce, and they kind of like don't like there's a lot of them are so like fierce, but since they were young, because they had to fight off those men or boys who to try to make fun of them. But I was on the other side. I got made fun of all the time. So I was like that I knew that I was different, but I didn't. So like until people call me, oh, tut ka thoi, and that's when I knew that okay, that's who I am. That's what I am. But still, growing up, I didn't really like to be called ladyboy. I mean, I didn't like to be called ka thoi because it's just something that I associate with laugh, with people laughing at me all the time. So back then, I didn't really like it. I didn't like being called ka thoi or anything like that. But when you grow up, you started to accept it. It starts from within, the self-acceptance. It's really important. And you accept it, and then nobody can call me anything. Like, I mean, I don't care anymore, like.
Yeah, I mean, once the word doesn't hurt us, then there's no longer pain in there.
Yeah. It's really, started from the self-acceptance. Yeah.
Where did you grow up in Thailand?
I grew up in Nakhon Sawan, so 4 hours away from Bangkok, and then in a university I moved to Chonburi for university, and then I was there for 10 years, like study and work there for a while, and then I moved to Bangkok.
Well, I'm very impressed by your English.
Thank you.
How do you learn your English? It's so well spoken.
I think, I don't know. When I was young, I really liked to speak English. I think English also the only the only subject that I did well when I was young. And I really bad at math and every other subject. So I feel like, okay. And I also got encouraged by teachers and my parents as well that if you're doing well on something, then keep doing it the best you can. So I try to improve my language ability. And I also went to like a English program in the high school. So that helps a lot. But that's the starting point, I think. But once you grow up, the language also grow with you, with the experience that you have gained the things that you have heard, the movies and stuff, especially now Netflix, YouTube, and everything. It just you just keep progressing.
For me, I like English language since like I think really young age.
Yeah, your English is really amazing as well.
Thank you. It was more of the like the grammar things, like Thai school kind of you have to do a lot of exam.
Yeah.
But I think the best way, the most effective way to speak English is to just speak it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just have to talk to a foreigner, like for real.
Yeah.
Then after that, it can develop by the time.
You cannot be shy. I think you probably hear this a lot. Like, you cannot be shy to make mistakes, but it's true. Otherwise they're not gonna keep repeating the same quote that don't shy to make mistakes. But I mean, it's true, and it's how you learn from. And how you improve. I think I heard that when you make some mistake for like 7 times, and then the 8th time that you correct yourself, that's when you learn like for real, like in your long-term memory. So you
especially with the grammar.
Yeah.
When sometimes speak with the wrong grammar, and then like, we're just in there, and just next time I will do better.
That's good.
And I think for kids like nowadays, I mean, they have so many way to access like the source of learning English.
That's
on our
really
smartphone,
good.
Depending on our interest though.
Yeah.
So this can be a really big change, because in our generation, like even my generation, which is I'm still Gen Z, but it was the period of time where it's like in between social media. Like I grew up with no phone, no nothing.
Yeah.
Until I was like 13, 14. So that time we kind of like started to use social media for the first time, like Facebook. So we didn't know what it was. So we just post some like a cringy some
stuff.
When we look back, it's just, that's not me. That's not me.
Like this day 10 years ago, like on Facebook, that function always creeps me out to see what I have posted in the past. It's so cringy.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the
let's get back to the topic.
As we know, in Thailand, like every man, basically every biological man have to join go through the
conscription.
Conscription. Which is so random. It's almost like lottery that you have to pick up the card, and then red or black. If it's red, then you got to join the military.
Yeah. So I actually gone through that process, but I didn't do the drafting. But I also went through that emotional period that you had to wait. I mean, let's go back to the beginning. Like, when you turn 21, you're gonna get called a notice from the government saying that
it's like 1 year earlier. You have to pick
like
up that. It's like 20. Then you got to pick up the documents.
Up the paper. And then that's one thing that I've always scared of since I was like become teenager. You starting to realize that one day it will come, like that you have to be in the military. So growing up, I always had like a thought in my mind that like, how can I escape from these duties of men in Bangkok, or in Thailand in general? So I was thinking like, how can I do this? There's a lot of things going on that you can pay to this and that person and get away with it, but I mean, that's kind of illegal. But so I feel like, so I try to look up for the qualification, like what you have to be, or what. So I was very thin person to begin with, and so I feel like, okay, I have to stay very, very thin until that day comes. So I sometimes even starve myself not to eat, but like very, very, very close to the day.
In order to have yourself like being skinny.
I really want to be skinny as much as possible. So that's the mentality that, leading to that point of day that like it was so nerve-wracking because I didn't transition at the time. So I present myself like to that place as a guy basically. And when I got like first you had to go in line, take your shirt off and everything. And then they're gonna make sure first they're gonna check your like overall health to see if you have like a obvious visibility or not. And then if you don't, then you have to go to the next round, like the height and their chest circumference. And I was very thin. I remember I tried to practice like the pose that I can make my rib cage the smallest that I can be, you know. So I try to like exhale, like to the point that I don't have any air in my lungs anymore, so that it's kind of like shrinks. I don't. That's not what I thought, that I would shrink myself like as small as possible. So I went through that, and then they measured my chest, and it was too small. So that I think the qualification was 76 centimeters that you have to be, but like I was too small, and then they said D1 ประเภท2 like a second type disqualified because of the proportion of the body doesn't fit the qualification.
Yeah, in my case, at that time I already was on hormones.
Yeah.
But in order for trans to get through this, you have to ask, like you have to see psychologist.
Yeah.
You know, like a
psychiatrist or psychologist, yeah.
Yeah, and have to get like the proof, like the paper, and you have to give it to them.
Yeah.
So you can skip. You have to do all
Was
like.
Was it difficult to get the documents?
It's very easy, very smooth actually. They just had. I mean, they asked me if like about my mentality, like you know how I wanted to be like women or men.
Yeah.
So at that time I already had like a long hair
already.
Yeah, okay. I mean 21, but I skipped 1 year though because you can also postpone. How many times?
You can postpone until 26 if you have what's it called? If you have the reason to postpone, like for example, you are going through the bachelor university, you can ask for postponement for the conscriptions. Yeah.
What about for the monk?
I'm not sure, but I think we've seen a lot of like videos on in the news that even monks had to come and take the conscriptions. I think if you are a monk, you must. If you're a monk and you want to get exempt from this conscription at all, you have to be like for a long time, like a monk for like maybe since when you were young, you know, or maybe like there must be a period of time that if you're for this long, if you're a monk for this long, you don't have to come anymore, or something like that. Yeah.
So it was pretty smooth for us. Okay, there is one thing that I'm curious because at the age 21, of course, and you know, for ourselves, we were scared of this thing. It's like a nerve-wracking, as you said. And of course, it kind of pushed someone who's below 21 to get like procedures. Like, you know, I have a few friends who said like, oh, you know, the way to get away from it is just to get the boobs job.
Done. Yeah.
Boom. That's it.
I had a few friends who actually did the surgery just to get past this conscription. And once they got it done, like, they take the silicones out. Yeah. And now they live like a normal gay person. I feel like it's
tricky.
I mean, it shouldn't have conscription at the first place, in my opinion, because it should be voluntary. Like if you want to be in the military, you apply for it, you know. But this one forces people to do harm to their bodies in order to get away, you know. Even me, I didn't like. I tried to like, you know, shrink myself, starve myself, and it's not really good for the mental. And let's say if you got into this conscription and you got drafted and become a soldier, at least like if you have bachelor, you have to be for 1 year. But when you do it for 1 year, like let's say if you already had a good opportunities in other aspects of your life, like you have your business going well, or your school, or maybe you receive some opportunities, but you have to surrender everything and go join the army. And that's kind of like, it takes away all the opportunities.
I've seen on the news also like there's only how can I say it? The person had like so much like pala.
Burden.
Yeah, I mean like have
Yeah.
to take care
Things
of the
to do.
family.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
only person who have to take care of the mother, and it was so emotional for the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's not fair. I mean, if you want a quality arm, how can I say?
Soldier.
Yeah, a soldier.
Yeah.
It has to be, you know, within them that they want it to be, not by being forced, right?
Exactly. I think, and that there must be people who want to serve the country. There must be people who really want to be soldiers, for sure. And I think, like, even now we don't really need one because we in time of peace, and I don't think the war is gonna happen.
Not necessary, right?
Like, you know, not that it's not gonna happen that easily in Thailand. So I don't know.
I mean, not that we know of. Maybe something
but I mean, we do need the protection from the military, but it can be better system than this, I think. Like because there are a lot of people who had to go through this nerve-wracking journey, who doesn't want to be, or who, you know, like trans people. I think nowadays trans people are getting a little bit better process with this one, because we can get the psychiatrist to, you know, give us the certificates that, I mean, like a document notes that we are, you know, trans, and I think they have the word like the gender identity is not fit with the biological gender, something like that. Yeah. So
there's something that can be interesting as well, because since it's a big event for a trans girl who would be there, because we have to be there.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of camera.
Yeah.
And
News,
they're
like,
always spot on like the outstanding ones who like 21 years old, like in the 20s, looking like stunning.
Yeah.
So that also gives the people opportunities to you know, to outshine, being like a star even.
I mean, that's also one of the highlights of every year conscription period. I think it's gonna happen soon in April. So yeah, that's one of the highlights, that all the trans have to go there. And I mean, it's a good opportunity to be captured by you know, camera crew, media. Like Yoshi, like, you know, when she went through the conscription, it was so cute, and it was kind of nice. I mean, it's one of the highlights, and it makes everyone smile. But I mean, on the other side, I mean, if you are a very reserved and introverted person, you might not feel comfortable to just be there and to be seen as some entertainment.
Well, sometimes it's kind of like it's like freak show somehow.
It's like a freak show.
You just like
people look at you, laugh at you, maybe, you know, like, look at her, you know, like, wow, maybe someone might amaze, like there must be a lot of emotion going on, like someone kind of, I don't know.
And we can see through this also that beauty privilege is really a thing. Yeah. Like, you know, people will look at you differently if you don't look feminine enough at the age 21.
It like, again, it comes back to that. It forces people, I mean, trans girls, to go through hormone therapy very early on in life. And I mean,
some of them that might not be real even, you know, like like your friend's case, like got the boobs dropped then and had to remove after that. I mean, that's really tricky.
And it's also expensive as well, you know, like it like they shouldn't have this kind of system at the first place. Then there were a lot of people who did unimaginable things, you know, to go to get away with conscriptions. And
then when it comes to men's duty, I mean, in Thai society, you know, there's a part of like conscription, and also another thing which is like becoming a monk.
Yes.
It's like, we pretty
Buddhism
much
country.
It's Buddhism country, and we also believe that everyone at the age 25 is like
it's like a number 13, right? It's like an unlucky number of the age. Like when we're 25, we have some sort of belief that there might be something bad happen to you. Or some people also think like if it's good, then it's going to be really good. But if it's bad, it could be like life-threatening bad. So
in order to get away from that, somehow another option can be like you just becoming a monk.
A monk, yeah. That's one of the things. And also become a monk is also one of the things that we repay the debt that we had from our parents, like to because they give us life, so we have to repay that. I don't know what's it called in English, บุญคุณ no, what they do for us, like so we have to like give back to them, and they have a belief that if you become a monk, then your parents will have an opportunity to go to the paradise, to heaven when they died. So I actually went through the process of
being a monk. You become a monk before?
Yes, I was a monk when I was 22.
Right after the conscription.
Yeah. So like everything happened like all at once, like conscription, and then I went to Japan to study for a year and come back to Thailand. And then during the school breaks, I think I have a few weeks left. I feel like, and then I was 22 at the time, and then my younger brother, he's 20th at the time, and then my mother kind of like, do you want to become a monk like during this school break? Because if you do it now, you can do it together with your brother, so you're not alone. So I feel like it's it's a little bit manipulative to talk to your kids that like be a monk.
But at that time you were not transitioned, so it's not like a big deal.
Yeah, so I feel like fuck it, let's do it. I'm just gonna, because we have as a Buddhist, you feel like you have to do it for your mother somehow. I feel like, okay, and it's a good opportunity for me because I have a friend to do it with. So I feel okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go through with it. They have a big ceremony. It's a little bit, I felt a little bit shameful because when I already know deep down that I'm not 100% male, and to become a monk, like first of all, you cannot be a monk if you are like trans. Yeah, because there's like when you do like a chanting, like during the audience, I think that's the word, like ceremony, you have to talk everything in Bali. And then we like basically the monk gonna ask you like questions, but you don't know what it is anyway because you memorize things, and there will be one questions during that Pali thing. They're gonna ask, are you a real man? And you have to say like you have to say like, yes I am, no I'm not, something like that. Like, but I think ama pante is like I am, and nati pante is like I'm not, something like that. So you have to say ama pante, like I am a real man. Wow. But and then I went through the hardest thing to be during the 14 days I was a monk, is that I had to stay really, really calm.
I thought it was because of the hair.
Oh yeah, the hair
because
too.
You had to shave your hair.
Yeah. Oh my God. But I mean, I was living my life as a guy back then, but I mean, shaving the head is the saddest thing that happened. But I mean, during the monk period, it's just I didn't really worry about the hair. I worry about like people gonna like clock me, that like, Ladyboy หรือเปล่าอะ something like that. But I mean, people knew. I mean, the mannerism, very, very small movement of you. People, I think people knows, but they kind of like look at you in a kind eyes. They're not like, what are you? Why are you here? But they're more like, they look at you in a in a good way.
It also appears as like a calm person as well when you're like in peace.
Yeah, I had like a พระอาจารย์ which is like a monk, a teacher monk, who's like always teach like me and my brother like a lot of things during that time. And one day, because every lunchtime, after we finish the lunch, we have to give blessing to people that come to give us food. And every day there will be like a lead chanting. You have to lead the chanting, and then everyone gonna follow you. And it's like every day from the first one, I was like the fifth one, I think. So the fifth day I had to lead the chanting. And I think the first few words, my teacher monk, he's already laughed.
because it was that wrong.
It sounds so weird. I think Ladyboy, we have like what's it called, special voice that we can use. Like I mean, everyone in Thailand, I think everyone when they hear us talk, they know. Like it really easy to understand. So it's funny that he laughed. And I was almost laughed because but I couldn't laugh because I had to lead the chanting, like the giving the blessing. But it was so funny at the time. And really good experience.
So did you learn anything from this experience?
I learned that it's gonna sound bad, but I mean, there are good and bad people in every sector of society. Because during the time I've seen bad monks, like
we could imagine. It's pretty
like monks who like didn't commit to all the precepts, all the rule that they have to do it, like basic rules, like being a monk you cannot sleep on a soft bed. That's the rule that you cannot do that. But I saw a very soft bed. And you cannot be entertained. You cannot listen to music. I saw monks have PlayStations, have a lot of things in that kuti, in the house. Yeah. So I feel like, and being I don't want to say it here, but I mean, being a monk, you don't have to pay tax. You get money from people, and people in Thailand are so believe in Buddhism.
And that's why new generation, we kind of questions a lot about this.
Yeah.
It's like, of course we have seen some really big scenes with the Thammakaya, whatever. I mean, it's could be a big scam as well for those who really choose this way to get away from paying the taxes.
A lot. Just also like Thai people are so. A lot of people are so, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say blinded, but they believe it so much that they don't care. Like if they're giving too much money to the monks, and they don't even have.
The more you give, the more you
go to paradise. I think a lot of younger generation started to question the religion or beliefs, but I mean, not only Buddhism, I think it's also a lot in Christianity as well.
It's about generations, right? So now we can even have like a different, how can I say, it's cult, almost a cult thing. Where it's basically from something on the internet, and people start like to make a conspiracy theory, and young kids believe in that instead of the old, like the long history beliefs. I mean, it's about time, right?
Maybe we can create our religion.
I mean, that's possible.
A Ladyboy religion.
I would say that's a cult.
That's a cult,
I mean, when I look at the surgery, it's kind of a cult, right? When we have the ultimate goal is to look beautiful. And other people who get the same procedures, they would, how can I perceive another person as beautiful? So that's what it is. That's what a cult is.
But plastic surgery is also something that, like, I don't know, it could be good and bad at the same time. But I'm sure it's for trans people is
almost necessary.
More necessary to go through. I mean, for the boobs, and for me, I did the boob surgeries, and it gives you confidence. Like a lot and I felt very confident. Yeah, when I did it. I did it when I was 26. Yeah. And it's been, I mean, before that I had like very small boobies, just like hormones boobies. When I did it, it's quite nice. I mean, it makes you feel closer to the soul, I think. Yeah.
But it gives such a different vibe though. I mean, when you, like for me, example, I didn't have done yet. And it gives me like some use, like a useful look. You know what I mean? Because after you get that, people would assume that you are older than your age.
I think so.
Right.
I think so. Yeah. When you do the boobs, people don't look at your face anymore. Especially when you do wear like just a fitted t-shirt. People just look at your boobs before your face. But yeah, I mean, it's also good and bad. I think people don't really recognize your face anymore.
Sometimes it's like too welcoming.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. You know, my as well. I got it done.
But yeah, small boobs are so nice. I think it gives you the supermodel look, you know, and you don't really need like I think a trend for trans women, we start to want to go smaller or even none at all, you know, for the, because you want to be blend in with the female, like a woman, you know. But of course there might be some people who prefer like big and very like hyper feminine type silicones.
Well, I think when it comes to hyper feminine in Thai society it's a very big thing because it's almost like pushing the pressure on young kids to overly use the hormones to look like feminine. We got to be ladylike, you know. And that's I mean, if the person likes, it's okay, it suits their you know what they believe, you know. But if it comes to a must, you know, it shouldn't be a must that every trans woman should look overly like a woman. Because that really drains your like, you know, mentality.
Taking hormones is actually, I feel, I mean, if you don't take like a proper doses and everything, it could harm you. I think like internally, you might look really pretty in front, or I mean on the outer appearances, but you don't even know what's going on inside, you know.
Yeah, especially with the bone structure.
Yeah. If it's like give you a positive outer, like outside appearance, how about how about the inside? It could mess up your hormones, could mess up your, I don't know, a lot of system in the body.
Well, and it also creates some fear of having muscle, which is really important in order to be healthy. Because trans mentality sometimes like working out can be, no, I don't want to have big muscle. You know, it's not like it's going to you know pop up easily. Men's takes time to gain the muscle.
Exactly.
But as trans, like, oh, you know, if we exercise just is man looking. So this also can be something that's kind of harmful to them. You know,
for younger generation, I hope that we don't really have that kind of mentality anymore, that, you know, we have to fit into a hyper feminine image of a trans woman. Like, I mean, everyone is individual, you know. Individuality is very important, and no, it's okay to have muscle. I have quite big arms, and I don't care. I used to be very conscious about my arms, but I mean, recently I feel like even women, like, they try so hard to get a tone, muscly looking arms, and I feel like this can be beautiful too, you know. And we have to support this kind of like values that people have in the society, that, you know, like you can be beautiful no matter what, you know.
And it's also the spectrum of attraction. Like, it doesn't mean that if you're not like hyper feminine, you would not be able to attract another guys. Of course, it's about attractions. Like, you know, life will give you the right people who like according to how you attract them anyway.
So listen for the younger audience, the younger trans. don't ever try to fit in the stereotype of the ladyboys like so hard that you force yourself, like, or harm to your body. I don't think that's a healthy decision. Just be yourself. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but I mean, be yourself. Be at the place that you feel the most comfortable with. For me, I don't need to have like very big boobs or big ass. Like, I just happy with who I am right now. Yeah. So I think we should have this more healthier mindset towards our body, because to live longer we need to have a good healthy body.
That's the thing that I have questioned a lot. I mean, in order to maximize my health, it requires a lot of time to to exercise, and that combined with the hormones, it's kind of against each other. Like, once you want to build like some muscle, like mass muscle, and you take like the hormones, which decrease your like testosterone.
You don't have any energy.
No energy, and your muscle doesn't build up more. So that can be, it's almost like you do it for nothing.
I also already stopped taking hormones since COVID, because I heard that COVID, like, there's a lot of rumors that COVID will interact with hormones and stuff. So I feel like, okay, I'll stop doing it. And I feel like since I stopped taking hormones, I feel nothing really changes like from my body anymore, except maybe like some hair will grow faster. I can laser them out. Other than that, I felt even healthier. I feel fine. So I don't know. I don't think hormones is really important anymore. Maybe at first, when you start transitioning, you have to go through a lot of changes. You see a lot of like changes in your body. But at one point, your body won't change anymore. It's like you reach the peak of the transitioning. Then I feel like there's no point to keep taking it.
Honestly, I don't feel that I have reached that point yet, because for some of my work, it requires to have like some testosterone. So I cannot have like all pressed down to look hyper feminine, as you said. But I'm still struggling with the hormones therapy. I mean, when I stop, of course, acne breakdown, which really bother me.
It's
sometimes it's just
manage,
waking
right?
up, waking up, looking at yourself in front of the mirror, and you're just like, well, here we go again, this feeling again.
Acne is difficult to deal with. I had a lot when I was young.
I mean, like when I was depressed about that, and when I met another people who also struggle with something else, which is much bigger than mine. It just compared to my problem, I was just like, oh, if I just don't have to look at the mirror, then problem solved. But for another person, it's about like their job, their living is much more serious, much more harmful to them than me just thinking about my appearance.
But I mean, I understand how you feel. Like, having acne is, especially for us, like, we want to be pretty, we don't want, again, with the social media, with the
I mean, everyone have flawless skin, on social media,
so
and we
you want to have the same kind of thing. But I mean, so I can understand that like having acne is really like messed up with your confidence as well. Because I had a lot. I'm still having some here right now.
Well, that's very main struggle that I have to question a lot. Like, do I still have to take the hormones, and then like
so you're like taking on and off right now?
On and off. That's why this happens.
It's difficult.
I think
because I remember when I had like on and off hormones, I also experienced those like hot flash. But it's really like when I sleep, I think it's like, I think this would happen with the menopause, like วัยทองผู้หญิง that you experience like is really hot.
High.
Yeah, it's really hot during like especially when you're sleeping. My bed is like warm from my body's heat. It's just so hot I couldn't sleep because like your hormone is unregulated. Like your body is like showing the signal that's like something's wrong, you know. So I was advised like maybe I don't know what to do with maybe have you check with the doctor for the hormones.
Time to time.
Yeah, it's difficult because like I understand like you know sometimes you need to have some testosterone, you know, but yeah, like right now, how about not taking anything at all?
Anything at all that would make it worse. You know,
Really?
yeah, with the hair, with the acne and stuff. You know, sometimes I got so mad. It's like I'm gonna take it.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow you're gonna see.
I used to try like
You want to fight with me? Hormone pill, boom.
2 pills.
Sometimes usually you have to take like a half or like a
Yeah.
past 4.
Yeah.
And just like sometimes I took 1 pill. Boom. We'll see tomorrow. But it doesn't work like
it
that.
doesn't work like that. Consistency is the key. But I mean, but you know, in Thailand, especially like back in the days, there's not much information at all
So we
about
took,
hormones. I just self-medicate. I did a lot of things. I did like birth control pills
Yeah,
to
that's
start
pretty common.
with. Yeah, I take 1, sometimes I take 2.
Trust me, I took 3 every day.
Really?
Yeah, until the
Wow.
point where every time when I see it, I was like, it makes me
Yeah.
almost want to vomit
Puke,
because
yeah.
of that.
It's really messed up like with your like my friend I heard my friend they call it 1 wings 1 ปี1 wing so like they have 2 lines right they take the whole wing of the I think 10 I don't know how many but like 7 probably at one night and on the second day my friend's kind of like blurred
That's
like I
that's
told
too much.
because we were in the dance team together we had to do like some choreograph that we have to do like this and then like this make a fist right and then but the last move was like this and then everyone told her make a fist and she was like huh
It's like very blurred.
yeah she couldn't understand like she was like lost into her medication it's like it was so funny we're still making fun of her until today she was like เมายาคุม
Yeah, that's even a
Yeah.
face. Like
yeah
you got high from birth control pill.
Yeah, birth control pill overdose. Yeah, I also did the injections and everything.
That's
Yeah.
really my main because I did
Yeah.
more injection than the taking pill.
Are you taking who's doing the injection for you?
Sometimes my friend, sometimes doctor.
This is one of the things. I also did it. I tried to do it myself because there's no one to do it for me. So I tried to like take all the medication and try to inject it. But I couldn't do it myself. I cannot put the needles inside my own skin. It's just so I got so shaky. So I had my friend do it.
For me,
YouTube. Doctor.
that's like the boyfriend requirements for me
Yeah.
because
You have to do injection for me.
yeah, I mean both of my ex like I remember the first time we went to Koh Lanta which
Yeah.
I know to fight the hormones and we met like we asked on the group on Facebook group of
Yeah.
the Koh Lanta community and they say any trans like there's one she's American and
Yeah.
she like she thought my ex-boyfriend at that time to inject me and after that he keep I remember the first time he did inject me half and then he took it off and like
Yeah.
what do I do with another half like oh no
check it
oh no
out.
oh no it's like I got injected twice. Yeah, and then after that it was another ex
Oh,
who
it's so
also
funny.
did with regularly. So
Yeah.
until I broke up that time and I've been single since. And now I have my friend. If I ever ask them to do, Shinny will be the one. Ma, lay down.
Fuck. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
always complains also about like, you know, if you do injection, it's like a really high dose, and then like it's not like
Yeah,
say
go
balance.
it's go up and down. It's go up so much and then it's like go down throughout the week and then you go up again. So it's not really a healthy choice, but I mean it's convenience because you only do one time and then
Also
you have to-
effective.
yeah,
It is really
good.
effective.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
remember like
I give 4 shots. Only 4 shots. Acne is gone.
oh,
No
nice.
oily face. You know, boobies come back. You know, and
Yeah.
after I stopped, I think it starts becoming back to normal after like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, if you stop that.
Yeah, we fight with
Annoying.
our biology.
Yeah, we just force the nature, you know, in order to fit in with how we feel inside.
I know. It's not easy to be ladyboys. It's a hard work, you know, to maintain our beauties. Yeah.
Okay, let's compare then, because there are also majority of trans like young kids who shows like a suicidal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they could not express themselves as the way that they wanted to be. And compared to Thai society, that's really rare case.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very open in Thailand. It's very cultural, accepted, very visible, you know, in a society. So I think that's one of the good things of being trans in Thailand, that you don't feel the pressure to hide. Like you have the freedom to be yourself. Yeah, that's one of the best thing to be here in Thailand. It's like I know someone who had to live their life as a gay person, but deep down they want to change into, you know, like a trans, like they want to transition, but he stayed like that for like probably until 30 something, and then suddenly I don't know what clicked, but changed. Like I think like, you know, when you are trans and then you can, it's one day you're gonna come out from the cocoon and become like a very beautiful woman. Right now he become a she, you know, and I'm happy for her. Like to yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Took a long time.
I think because Thai society, it's very open, so people can be themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also because of our religion. So if we look back at the same majority of people who are trans here comparing to the whole world, I think religion has significance.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of numbers. I also wonder like why Thailand has a lot of trans, but I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Like one is the Buddhism, because Buddhism teach people to accept other people for who they are. Other people have their own journey, have their own karma to take care of. So we don't have to hate anyone because whatever they are, they already have their own karma. Like when you circle back to this life, then when you were born human, you have your own karma to repay, ใช่ไหมคะ? So I think it's made people become more accepting towards another. And then also like, I think Thailand is the best like geographical area. Like, you know, in the area of Thailand, it's like the weather is really good. Everything is nice, good food, good resources. It makes people like, especially in a tropical climate, it makes people more friendly. So when you're friendly, your religion are accepting, you can be who you are. Like, you know, like everyone is like accepting one another. And imagine it happened like this for a very, very long time ago, you know. So there probably a lot of trans already back in the days. I don't know when, but when there are a lot of people who can come out and be themselves, then be a good role model, a good representation that, oh, you can actually live like this, you know, just the way you are, then a lot more people see and they have more courage to be themselves. It's not like you see and you want to be one, but you are more like you already is a ladyboy inside, and then you have more courage to become one. I think a lot of people will have like a perception that if you put trans in the media, put ladyboy in the media, all the little kids will want to become a ladyboy. That's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah, they must have a little seed inside them that they want to become a woman. Then one day, if they have a good representation, then that will grow into like a beautiful tree.
Yeah, but I mean, like, of course, in Thailand, there are kids who already felt that way. They have the seed in them, and they're not shy to show it out, shine it out.
Yeah.
And for those people who lives in another countries, imagine with a really strict, like, religious family, and some society, they are not, it's not acceptable to be trans. And we cannot even tell if one who looks like a man, how they feel deep down. Because I have the one experience, just random. I was using the dating apps, and there are a few people asking me. I remember the one from India. He basically looked like a man. And he said that he wanted to transition. And I was like, wow, this is so new. Like, how just because of the limitation of their countries that they cannot express. And he had to hide. And he asked me like, how's to do like, take the hormones properly. And I just recommend them to order this, start from Endocore and with this. Well, I mean,
it's sad.
At the end of the day, we cannot tell if ones have the, majority of like people who actually trapped in another body.
Like
we cannot tell.
They cannot really express themselves in the society that they are in. So that's kind of like
really sad.
Yeah, really sad. And we also have to like appreciate trans who lives overseas as well, that they have so much courage that, like I think being a trans overseas in the West, maybe in the US, is it could be life-threatening that when you go out, you might get hit by some transphobes people, So that's why I think that's one of the reasons that the law over there is very strong and protective towards trans people.
Yeah, because there are more chance to, to be harmful for the person. And also that's probably the reason why there are so many like trans activists in other countries. And when it comes to Thailand, I don't think there are so many compared to like our majority of the
because
trans.
I think because in Thailand like trans topic is very common, and a lot of people would say, even within our community, they might say, it's already okay as it is. Why would we change the thing?
Honestly, I totally agree with that because once we fight for more, it's gonna be biawa. In the future, it could be like something that how can I explain?
ยังไงนะคะ
Like I don't want something that happens in the US, in our country
that
when
people like hate towards trans.
No,
right?
I mean like when people switch their gender daily. Like, okay, today I want to be a woman and tomorrow I want to be a man. If
the other
just
one
doesn't make sense.
Non-binary. I am nothing.
I honestly I don't believe in non-binary gender.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like, it's very controversial topics like in the US, but to share the perspective within us
as a Thai,
for Thai people, I don't know. There might be people who actually feel like that, but I still cannot wrap my head around it.
Okay, let's talk about the word kathoi. So kathoi pretty much is not like exactly what ladyboy means.
Kathoi is like very broad umbrella.
Yeah, it's like the big umbrella covering us.
Yeah.
So
men who act like feminine,
extremely gay could be kathoi. So basically we just live in the same umbrella, but as
we
I
should
said
put
with
kathoi in the LGBT and K. Kathoi in the back.
it's gonna sound so confusing for people.
Yeah, they cannot wrap their heads around the this one anyway. Like, it's so funny that, like, I don't know, in the West that they just put so much emphasis on sex, gender, who they are, or like me. You have to accept me. But like,
do you accept yourself?
Are you
first?
accepting yourself? Like, who are you? But for me, like in Thailand, we don't really have that kind of like problems that we want more rights. You have to accept me. You have to, we only want, like for trans people, we only want to be treated as just a normal female representative, like woman, like in a society. We don't need special privileges. We don't need special treatments. We only want to be like in the society, just as like a normal person. But something that's lacking, then there might be like adding to the system, like maybe same-sex marriage that we already had, And
now we are kind of fighting for the next law change, which is gender change on the passport.
What do you think about that?
Do you agree with this? Okay, this is going to be another controversial.
I mean, for people who travel, I travel quite a bit, but I have never had a problem that happened to me yet. But I think that could be in the future, but I mean, I don't think, it would be nice if we can change, but I understand people who are against it, because like, it could be confusing towards our treatment in the hospital, if
Yeah, that's also a thing. And there's another new thing as well. Since Thailand, we already have known as like, the country for ladyboys.
Yeah.
Of course, foreigners coming here and they criticize the women by asking them like,
are you ladyboy?
You ladyboy. Imagine if we can change the name and asking the women, they can be like, see, I don't believe you, because ladyboy can also use miss.
Yeah, it could be a little bit difficult towards biological women as well sometimes, because like there should be some kind of like differentiation written on paper. Because we have to accept that Thai trans women are very beautiful. They are very feminine. They are very passable. I think many people are like, back in the days, there are people who's like, what's it called? Disclose who they are, who they actually is. They don't tell, like,
Oh, trust me, there are so many.
Stealth. Yeah, they're kind of
so
like
many,
hiding.
and they're waiting for that day to come. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, not try to talk negatively towards our own community, but I mean, there are girls who hiding, but I mean, I kind of understand them if they already, if that, I think those privileges should have for girls who already post up, then maybe they earn a right to have the word like miss in front of them. But I mean, still, that even like controversial.
It shouldn't be just X, right?
Yeah, or maybe just females, and maybe some sort of like, I don't know, star.
I mean, on the passport, it's not as serious as a birth certificate.
Yeah,
that's
birth certificate, you cannot touch that. It's just what you were born with, Then maybe passport, maybe for the sake of traveling, then maybe let them have it, But I mean, it's okay. I don't care personally. Yeah.
For me, I had an experience in Vietnam where I was the immigration. Just look at my passport and say,
just keep looking like that.
You man? You man? And I was like, yeah. I mean,
yes.
And when we have to look at their perspective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they might not have seen one, so we got to understand. We cannot just get mad out of,
Yeah, you cannot. Yeah. We have to understand them as well, because like we are special kinds of human in the world. So.
And also, we don't have to explain so much.
Yeah.
One of the things that people fight for this is also is we don't want to explain people.
Yeah, that's
we
the
are
thing.
this, we are that.
Yeah. I hope that people the learn will the world will learn about us and start to like see trans women as a norm faster, like from now, because I think this happened back in the day for gay and lesbian people as well. They also fought for their rights to be in a society. I think now those fight are for us now, trans women, to fight for our rights and our place in society. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the things we are doing right now to show the representation of the society that we deserve,
And it's really, really more meaningful when we have some quality people having with us today in the show.
Thank you.
So, Niki, thank you so much for coming to the show.
We talked a lot today. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, this is so
Very
much
nice to
fun.
see you.
And this is like so flowy.
Yeah.
Very flowy. And I hope you guys like this episode of today.
Very nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to share my own story. And there are still a lot more to talk about, but I mean,
much more.
Yeah.
So see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
สวัสดีค่ะ